Yo, what to do, YouTube? It's your boy ColtsTalk. We are back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the post-game reaction of the Colts versus the Tennessee Titans in the Week 5 matchup. Now, of course, the Colts did come out with the W, but there's some things we need to break down and talk about for a little bit. But before I get into it, I would like to appreciate each and every one of you that tuned into the live stream. If you haven't or you don't know when I'm dropping some next content, be sure to subscribe. If you are enjoying my content and never subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's totally free. Just hit the subscribe button. Also, turn on your notifications, hit that bell to know when I drop content like YouTube Shorts, regular videos, or just go live on live stream on YouTube. So be sure to hit all of those. Like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate each and every one of your support. And also comment below your thoughts of the game of the Week 5 matchup. Did you think the Titans were going to win? Did you think the Colts were going to win? Go back to my preview video to check the score predictions I had for the game before it happened. And to overall review, let's hop into it. The Colts came out with the victory. I was like over the heels because at one point I did think the Titans were probably going to pull it out. But that was the whole scenario when the Colts went for it on fourth and one that didn't get it going into the half. And starting off the second half, it was just rough. You've seen a point where it was like the Titans might take it away here, because I always go to this note of mentioning the Colts being a one-half team. Maybe they start off at the beginning on fire, then in the second half it just dies down. Or, they start off rusty in the first half and then pick it up in the second half, and sometimes it's too late. But in totality, the Colts figured it out in all four phases. And, this Colts team was resilient. They never bent, they never backed down from the fight in the division game, because we know the Titans know us best. Like I said, the Titans and the Jaguars are the only two teams I think know the Colts' favor than anything. But before that, we're going to start off at the beginning. Anthony Richardson started off on fire. Of course, he had some moments where he just completely missed the targets. He did sell a few passes when it just went over, out of bounds. But, those plays that he made when it could have been resulted in a sack. Danico Autry had a quiet game. Jeffrey Simmons, before he went down, wasn't really making an impact as expected. But this Colts team shown that, they can play football. They can play good football. They shown that this week. I think it was proven. This was Jonathan Taylor's debut after just extended his contract a few days ago. He was on the scene and he had some promise. He had some promising plays. I'm not gonna lie. He had some plays when it could have been if he would have shot the gap, it would have been gone. But he made some big plays to get us some yards after carry. And besides that, run back committee, run the dang ball. Zach Moss gets the football, the player of the game football. He went crazy today. He went crazy. There's not enough words or anything of emphasis to put on the impact that Zach Moss put against the Titans today, which happened to be before the game ended. Going into this week, the Titans was the #1 defense against the run, from my knowledge of what I was told or what I seen. And today, it didn't look apparent at all. Zach Moss just did whatever he wanted. And I was like, I mentioned how great Stewart, shout out to Stewart on the defense, special teams guy that came in for Shaquille Leonard. He a preseason standout as well. Stewart, I mentioned, he's our Troy Polamalu. He's the Colts version Troy Polamalu to me because of the long hair, and he's just that darn good at tackling. And for me, Zach Moss is our Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is one of the hardest running backs to bring down, trying to tackle and brace for impact. He breaks so many tackles, and Zach Moss is currently leading the NFL in broken tackles. He is just a hard player to bring down. And a while back in yesteryears, it would have been Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry is a shell of himself at the moment, due to the cluster or whatever they call that offense over there in Tennessee. I kind of feel for them, because Tennessee, they could have won this game. It was just mistake after mistake. They just had some moments where either they didn't catch the ball, or they just couldn't move the chains. It was that simple. The defense was dialed in, and going into the first half again, like I said, Zach Moss was just breaking loose every time. The first touchdown, we got to give credit to the run blocking. The run blocking was the biggest key to all of the success of the run game. And like I mentioned, the Tennessee Titans' my biggest fear from the Titans is that defensive line. Now, of course, they lost a few players in the process, and I wish them for a speedy recovery. But again, this defensive line, it was the biggest question going into this game for me. And the offensive line for the Colts they did not fall back. They didn't fall back at all. They held their composure. They had some good blocking, and they get the flowers for today because that was some beautiful run blocking I've seen from this offensive line all year. And like I mentioned, since week one, this offensive line on the run blocking scheme has been improving week after week after week, and it's just getting better and better. And that's something you love to see, especially when it comes from Colts fans that loves to run the football. This is some things you love to see from this offensive line, which was impressive in all four phases. So they definitely get flowers today. Zach Moss was a dog today. Ogletree had some big plays. Josh Downs had an outstanding game. He had an outstanding game. He would have had another big break if it wasn't for a flag, which was unfortunate. But again, Josh Downs was just the guy to go get it. Michael Pittman Jr., big play after big play, snagging, man. It was a play where he broke down Kristen Fulton on the out route, which just was beautiful. There was another play on Sean Murphy bunting, going to the sideline where he just snagged it right over his head, and then Sean pushed him out of bounds. He couldn't get the first, but it was 3rd and 1. But man, it was a big play after big play. Like Anthony Richardson went down with a shoulder injury. I know there's speculation of what happened. A lot of people are talking about how he should protect himself and slide more and everything of that nature. I just want to point out that the play that Anthony Richardson got hurt on, it wasn't necessarily for him to slide because he got tackled from behind. So when he gets tackled from behind, he does not have eyes in the back of his helmet. He does not know what's happening. He went down on his throwing shoulder, which was, it was just a freak accident at the end of the day. And it was just a strain. It wasn't nothing really severe, which is a good thing. But he just got tackled from behind. It's just as simple as that. It was a good tackle. He fell on his shoulder and he got hurt. It is what it is at the end of the day. Nothing else he could have did to result in, protecting himself on that play. He was sliding earlier in the game, but that tackle when that on the RPO on the read option that was made, he just got tackled from behind. That's all it was. And for guys like Anthony Richardson, of his height and his athleticism and how much he weighs, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get tackled. It's a physical contact sport. It's gonna happen at the end of the day and result in he got hurt. Like I said, it was just a strain, so hopefully he can come back sooner than later. But little do you know, lo and behold, Gardner Minshew steps in the game. The best backup QB in the NFL that I mentioned. The best backup QB in the NFL. One more time for people that did not hear me. The best backup QB in the NFL. Gardner Minshew stepped in and delivered. This dude knows about the Shane Steichen offense. He knows this Tennessee Titans team very well because he's always in the division. He stepped in and delivered. I mentioned during the stream that it's funny if you watch the Colts and you see the similarities with Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew. It's like they have their favorite targets. When Anthony Richardson's in the game, you see Michael Pittman Jr., you see Josh Downs getting the ball, you see Michael Pittman Jr., you get Josh Downs, you get a little bit of tight end action. But when Gardner Minshew steps in the game, Alec Pierce starts to get more reps, Kylan Granson gets more reps. And you just notices it little by little, like Will Mallory when he first scored. It's only because Gardner Minshew stepped in the game. So it's like they have their favorites. It's like they trust the certain targets a little bit more than others when they're in the game, and there's nothing wrong with that because I'm all for it, getting reps to certain players. But when Gardner stepped in the game, the flow of the offense changed a little bit. But I mean, it was still moving balanced very well. I feel like this offense is more run oriented when Anthony's in the game and more pass oriented when Gardner's in the game. This is just me and my opinion. Both quarterbacks are amazing. We can win with either or, but I'm just showing the tempo. There's a difference in tempo when each quarterback is in the game. Now, when Anthony went out, I was not feared at all because I just knew Gardner was going to step in and show out. I just knew he was. I didn't expect him to go out there and throw interceptions or do something crazy. He did a spin move. He ran to he was trying to get in the end zone. He did a play action boot, ran to the right side of the field. This was when we got into the goal line, and this was before the whole scenario. But when we got to the goal line, he did a play action boot, ran to the right side, He seen pressure. I think it was Aziz, and he spun off Aziz and got the first down. It's just an amazing effort. Gardner Minshew's a rock star. Nobody noticed that. He's a rock star. Uncle Rico, he's a dog. So other than that, when Gardner stepped in the game, he was composed, made his plays, was hitting. He was just sailing the ball, and it was some beautiful passes. He just made the play after play after play, and it was consistent. And that's things you love to see. And the offense was today. They definitely get the roses today, man, because the offense definitely stepped up when they were supposed to. It wasn't as stale as last week. It was much better. So it got improved. It got improved over the week. So credit to the offense today. They definitely get the flowers. The defense, again, started off the second half really dry, but they picked it up. They picked it up. There was a point where, when we went 4-on-4 and didn't get it, going into the half, people wanted us to take the three. And I was like, even if we did take the three, the defense is going to have to get a stop regardless of the situation. We had the lead. We were up 4. We took 3. We're up 7. Congratulations. But the start of the second half, the Titans drove down the field. We couldn't stop Hopkins because of the zone coverage just was very soft. So Hopkins just ran up them down the middle of the field with ease, and they wound up getting in the end zone. That was off of a run by the backup running back for Derrick Henry. I can't think of his name at the moment, but you guys can go ahead and put it in the comment section. On stream, I was saying his name all day. So on stream is on paper. I just can't think of it right now. I got a brain fart, but it is what it is. So yeah, they just drove down the field and then they got in the end zone. Tajay Spears, that's what it was. Haha, I got it right. So Tajay Spears just drove down the field after DeAndre Hopkins pretty much diced up the DBs, and then Tajay Spears wound up running it in. So the defense was very soft coverages. I hate it. But they're trying to stop themselves from big plays, but in reality, it's like you try to stop the big plays, but they can make a big play out of the short gains that you give them. So, like I said, it was bend but don't break, and the defense, they bounced back after the touchdown and just pretty much did everything they could. I was not feared of Derrick Henry. Shout out to Zaire Franklin. He had an amazing game. EJ Speed had an amazing pass breakup. Julian Blackman finally got an interception. Shout out to him, which was the game-clinching one. But the D-line just did everything they could. Grover Stewart was a menace. DeForest Buckner was a menace. Grant Stewart had a bunch of big plays. I love the idea of having Julius Brent on DeAndre Hopkins. A big body for both sides. Wide receiver and DB is just the ultimate matchup. Physicality. He's a rookie, but I think he can play himself. He could have had an interception in the end zone. He wound up swatting it, which was still a great play. Don't get me wrong. It was a great play. But, we would have loved that pick for Julius Brents. But it still was amazing coverage. So shout out to him. He had some hiccups during the game, but he bounced back, which was an amazing thing to see. We had rookies on both sides with Jones and Brent. So definitely when Dallas Flowers come back, there's going to be something to add to that, which was an amazing sight. But I think the defense definitely gets their flowers because they were struggling at first, but then they bounced back. When they knew the game was on the line and they needed to stop, they got to stop. That's all that matters, right? That's all that matters at the end of the day. Derrick Henry was not really an impact this game. Ryan Tannehill was the impact. There were so many times where we could have sacked Ryan Tannehill and just didn't do it. It was kind of like, just bring him down, man. Just bring him down. But they did at the end of the game. So, like I said, they get their credit. But there were so many times when they had their chance. We did not have Kwity Paye. I think if we did, it would have been a better outcome. But Sampson was just wreaking havoc, man. Sampson is one of the best offseason acquisitions for the Colts. He was just amazing. He got hurt, came back, but just been amazing all game. He's been amazing all year so far. So it's definitely, kudos to all of them. Rigoberto had some beautiful punts, but the team in all reality just fought hard. They really did. They fought hard and they fought well and they got the dub against the Titans, in which a lot of people didn't think we would do. So it is what it is. Hats off to the team. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about the game, who stood out, who didn't stand out. All these things in the comment section. Let me know your concerns about Anthony Richardson as well moving forward. I'll give you more details about that later on once we get them. But this is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.